Maja Vodanovic is the mayor of the borough of Lachine and an executive committee member, and she's the one that has been selected. I don't know what she did to deserve this, to be on the program to defend the budget. Maja, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Eli.
And listen, I think you were on with Montreal Now yesterday. So clearly, the PR team has decided that you will be the fall person for the bad news.
I'm out there. Yes, here I am.
But so it's bad news. I want to start off with one thing, okay? Because as a taxpayer, this is where my frustration, where I think this is a good example of why my frustration is high. So the Montreal's Office of Public Consultation, over the last couple of weeks, it's been bad headline after bad headline, and sometimes the headlines aren't warranted. This time, it's a very good enterprise journalism responsible for unveiling that there's just been spending that kind of doesn't make sense when it comes to taxpayer money, whether it's for $900 headphones or oysters. Okay, so those are the headlines that come out. And then yesterday in the budget, we find out that this OCPM gets a 10% increase in its budget. It goes to $3.3 million. And of all things to say, nope, slap on the wrists, you will get a 10% decrease, rein in your spending, we want to send a message. This would be top of the list for me. I want to know why everything seems to go up, why there's no fat to cut anywhere.
Okay. First, the budget has not been, that part of the budget has not been approved yet for the OCPM. Okay. It's been déposé, and this has been prepared a long time ago, and it's now, I don't know how you say déposé.
Anyway, it's been tabled, but it hasn't been approved yet.
It's been tabled. Now, we see this now, and we see this in this new light. And I have a tremendous respect for Journal de Montréal, for the Bureau d'enquête. I really do. I think this is important for democracy. And I think it is great that they've looked into the paramunicipal, and we have other paramunicipals. And I think they're very independent. So, and we don't always have a word, we don't have always something, we can't control them as much as we control our own city budgets, and we don't see everything. So now we want to have the power to see what they're doing and to control more what they're doing, especially the spending. And the mayor was very clear about that yesterday. And even on this Friday, there's going to be, we have public commissions for the budget. Every service goes to a public commission. Even the citizens can come and ask questions. And it's only after these question period and presentations to all the elected officials and to the public that things get adopted. And so things might change, of course. Understand? Yeah.
I understand. So let me try and fill in the blanks here. It sounds to me like you're saying that the axe is going to come for the OCPM and they're not going to end up with an increase in their budget.
I would say that, yes. Okay. It's my guess. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I think we can take some solace in that. Let's talk about the bigger things overall. And we spoke to the mayor of Laval in the last hour of the program, right? And he talked about how he canceled one big project. He said, we just can't do it because I need to focus on services. Yeah. Were there any projects that could have been chopped so that taxpayers could have some more breathing room?
Many things that we want to do are not being done. Many. But the only reason why the taxes have increased is because everything has increased. Everything we buy costs more. Cars cost more. Any equipment, the equipment we buy costs more. Gas costs more. Our contracts, some of our contracts for snow removal, 30% more, 40, up to 100% more. Garbage pickup is 40% more. It is it's insane. And so we want to keep offering people what they need, the basic services. And in order to maintain the basic services, we have to at least increase it to the minimum, which is it's lower than the actual real inflation right now. But that we're absorbing. A lot of our services are absorbing the shock. And I can tell you, I'm with the water department. A lot of contracts are coming in higher. And we have the same amount of money. So there's things that, there's things in certain departments that we just can't do. So we're not like, it's not like we're doing everything we want. Believe me.
Now,
Yeah.
Lachine, your borough,
Yes.
looking at the increase there, 5.3% is the property tax increase in your borough. Can you give us an example, maybe a local example of a project that isn't happening, some measure you've taken to cut? Because I get it. So everything's more expensive.
Yeah.
I really do understand that.
Yeah.
But, I see we're hiring many more bodies, even places that seemingly have enough bodies. Per capita wise, Montreal police. And listen, I'm not on team defund the police. I'm not on that side.
Yeah.
But I look at the number of police per capita, Montreal versus other Canadian cities. We do very well. So I'm just wondering if there's anything that you saw in your borough, anything that we can look at where there's a cut. There's a cut to be made.
I will tell you where we have increased. We've put in 2 more people during the summer for garbage pickup, because people, I don't know why, but they seem that they just throw garbage on the ground. It kills me. I see people, leaving their Tim Horton cups on a rock, just leaving it there. So, and it looks disgusting. And so we had to hire people to pick up after other people, because that's, people want to live in a clean environment. And we're building a whole new district, the Lachine East. It's going to be 10,000 new people, and we want to plan it well. So, and our urban planners are already overloaded with, just the regular work that they have to do with people asking for permits. So we needed to hire somebody that's going to overlook the whole Lachine East development. We haven't hired them yet, but we will in January. And we've also hired somebody to help us with circulation, to make for intersections, and to help us make things more secure around schools, so that we can put in projects to secure our streets, because that's another important issue. We don't want cars hitting people. We don't want any casualties. So this is something that at every borough council, people come up and they say, we want our streets to be more secure. And the police that are coming in are actually going to help. And by the way, they're funded by the Quebec government. And the 108 police that are coming in will help the police that's already there, that's doing a lot of overtime, because they're going in and seizing guns and seizing drugs and doing all kinds of stuff. They're doing great work. But while they're doing all this great criminal work, they're not on the streets giving out tickets when somebody drives 50 kilometers on a 30-kilometer residential street. So now we have all this police that will be able to be in the boroughs giving out tickets to people that are speeding. And that's another big concern.
What do you say to someone? What do you say to someone who says, "Listen, Montreal, we have lots of bike paths. You've done tremendous work. The Projet Montreal has done tremendous work adding so many bike paths. Maybe while the taxpayer needs to catch their breath, cut back on that, because there's already been so much done over the last 10 years. Cut back a bit, take a deep pause, or for instance, Camillien Oud, that's in the budget, spending millions on that." Cut that, push it back temporarily so that you don't have to increase by 5 point something. You can increase by 4 or 3.5. What do you say to those people?
It's a different. The spending on infrastructure is not the same as the spending on our budget, the functioning budget that pays all the salaries and all the people that work at the city. It's 2 different budgets. And I just want to go back to bike paths. It is a minute percentage of city investment. It is minute. It is 0.0 something. Mm-hmm. The half of the budget, the almost $7 billion that we're putting in is going into road work. Half of it, $12 billion is going into fixing our old infrastructure that is breaking. We've reduced the brakes by 50% since 2012. It's breaks half as much, and when it breaks, it costs us 10 times more to fix. Mm-hmm. So we're putting a lot of money into this, and when we do fix infrastructure underneath, we make brand new roads and brand new sidewalks, and if we can, we're going to add a bike path on it. Why not? But the main cost is our sewers and water infrastructure. And that, if we don't take care of it, will cost more in the end. So it's like a very responsible, prudent budget, and we don't focus on just the 0.1% bike paths, which actually help us fight climate change and fight forest fires and fight the flooding. So we can kind of look at other things.
We have to leave it there. Just send along the message. Ease off, and not for you, but for people in the administration. Ease off on the travel and the wine. And then people maybe will give you a little bit more grace when you come up with bad news in a budget. Just saying.
I agree with you on that, Elias. I agree.
We have to leave it there. The mayor of Lachine, Maja Vodanovic.